Still trying to figure out why you cuffed him.
Why I cuffed him?
Why you cuffed him?
Whatever though. Reason I cuffed him. This guy talking or whatever though.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You're telling us partial truths.
Whatever though. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember every single comment that he said.
You just punched him 15 times.
No, I did. Cause you wanna know why I did?
You're psychotic.
I'm not sitting here giving y'all the runaround.
Sure you are. I don't understand why he didn't go to first appearance. Why they're charging that filed on him. Before they do any criminal investigations, there's going to be charges placed on him.
No, that's not how it works.
And I'm not resisting or anything.
No, you're not. Tell me what's threatening about.
Yeah, right.
Give that shit to your son.
Right,
or
right.
Even.
Yeah.
Why do you think he took the cuffs off?
I think he wanted to fight him. I could tell that he was completely emotion driven, still putting hands on Brown. Hey, stop, cool off, stop. You need to stop.
This is a Shields of Shame exclusive.
Should be a chair set up. What we're gonna do. So you know why we're here, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Oh, you want to sit on this? It's up to you. I didn't realize
I didn't even check that one out.
So,
You did?
So,
Turn this on.
okay. Like I said, my name's Investigator Kramer. This is Investigator Munoz. Today is Saturday, February 4th. It's 19:04 hours. And can we get your name, sir?
Matthew Cobbage,
And Mr. Cubbage, what is your date of birth?
62988.
Okay. So, where were you housed?
Would it be better for me to do this with a lawyer?
So, that's completely up to you. We're here looking into the incident that occurred, and we want to get your take, your information from you, okay? If you want an attorney, that's fine, but honestly, we're treating you as a victim in this case, right? But we need to gather all of the facts, okay? I'm not trying to persuade you one way or another.
You're aware of your Miranda rights, right? If you want, if at any point, any question that either of us asks you, you don't feel comfortable answering, I don't want you to feel pressured to continue you can end this at any time, and like we won't get upset or anything like that. But we'd like to talk to you to find out your side of what transpired. And like he said, we're looking at it as, from the looks of your face and what we've found out up until now, it looks like you're a victim of something that occurred. And that's what we want to find out, is what occurred. So if you're okay with that, you have the right to, to have an attorney present during any questioning.
So look, we're going to go ahead and read a Miranda, okay? It is a criminal investigation, okay? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against as evidence against you in court. You're entitled to have a lawyer now and have him present at any time during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cost. He may be present at all times during your questioning. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand those rights? Okay. With knowing and understanding those rights, would you like to speak with us? Yes? I need a yes or a no.
Yes.
So we are videotaping it, but the verbal communication is key. I'm just going to have a seat so I can take some notes. So tell us what took place last night.
Probably around lockdown, probably around 11 o'clock. I rounded up maybe about 6 books. I approached Officer Brown. I asked him, and I believe my exact words were, I don't know if you're allowed to do this, and I don't want to get you in any trouble, but is there any way that you could swap these books out with the door next to us?
Okay.
He said yes. but I won't get them now. I come back through on another walkthrough, and I'll get them and I'll take them. So I said, okay. Probably around 12 o'clock. I think they walk around, maybe once an hour.
Okay.
Came back. I was in my bunk. I had the bunks. I don't have a bunk mate, so I had the books stacked up on top of the bunk that's above me. I said, hey, Officer Brown, you get the books? He said, yeah. He put a glove on. He grabbed the books. He said, I'll be back. So 12:30, 1 o'clock came. He came back, no books. 2 o'clock came. He came back, no books. 3 o'clock came back, no books. Hey, Officer Brown, if you weren't gonna exchange the books, why did you take the books? You could have just said no. What was the point of you? I feel like you just took the books, We read those books. We don't have a TV, we don't have nothing. This is how we entertain ourselves. I asked you, you could have just said no. It went from there. Those books, this, that, and the third. But then I'm like, well, f the books then, And he went to grab my sweatshirt. I had it tied on the end of my bed. He went to grabbing that. You want this before I throw it, this, that, and the third. I'm like, man, f that sweatshirt, man. I'm going to sleep, man. He yanked me up, put me in handcuffs at that point. So he said, well, on me, you finna sit out there on in the cell port all night till shit change. I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck where you put me at, man. Just, come on with it. So he coming down the steps. He's still mad. I take these handcuffs off and fight you. I take these handcuffs off and fight you. So now we come down the steps. I'm thinking he's gonna take them off right down the steps. He walks me down the steps and he gets right there like walking to the threshold of the door in the dorm. He said, no, I'm gonna take them off right here where the camera can't see me. So he takes the handcuff back.
Where are you now? At the top of the stairs?
No, I'm all the way down the stairs. I
He's at the
slept at the top of the stairs. I'm all the way down the stairs to the threshold of the dorm.
Okay.
And there's two officers now. There's Officer King, tall white officer, and it's Officer Brown, big linebacker, big black officer. So now we're all the way to the at the threshold of the dorm. So obviously, in my mind, once he says that, he's been thinking about it all the way coming down the stairs that he thinks that the camera can't see him right here at this location in the dorm, because that's what he said. I'm gonna do it right here where the camera can't see. I'm gonna get out of the way of the camera. So now I'm standing at the threshold of the dorm. Now all of a sudden, after you put me in handcuffs, trying to leave me out the dorm, now he's trying to take the handcuffs off of me. So I'm not resisting, moving, saying nothing, making any offensive movements or nothing. He trying to take the handcuffs off of him. So he gets one handcuff off and he's telling me, move your motherfucking hand away, move your hand away, move your hand away so I can get it off, move your motherfucking hand away. But I haven't moved. I guess it was something, he was caught. Where the key was, you know what I'm saying? So he finally got the handcuffs off. So now I turn around and see what's going on. Hands by my side, no, movement or anything. He punched me, boom, 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 slams me to the ground. I got on these shoes. He has on boots. He's 3-4 times bigger than me. I'm slipping and sliding. And as you can see,
Can I see your wrist? When he had those cuffs on you that he put them on upstairs by the bunk, were they tight?
yes,
Excessively tight?
yes.
Were they tightening down as you were walking?
Yeah, because he didn't,
He didn't lock them?
yeah, he didn't, usually they put the cuffs on him and then they
Lock.
lock him in place. He didn't lock him in place.
Okay.
The
When
whole time he's steady talking, he gets all the way to, in my mind, I'm thinking, but then he put me in handcuffs, he gonna put me on the bench in the cell. That's what it look like. Lock you to the bench for punishment, leave you in there till shift comes on at 6 o'clock and switch you out, put you back in the dorm. So I saw then take you right there, so, and then take the handcuffs off of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why the hell is he taking the handcuffs back off of me? As soon as I turn around to see what's going on, I'm punched and hit. I'm down. He slammed me. I don't know if his knee hit me or you know what's going on, but all his weight's on like my neck. Severe pain, all this to the touch. My back is in so much severe pain I could barely walk. Like my lower back, all this. Then, so after he's physically, you know, punching me and slamming me and all this, that, and the third, the other officer's like trying to break it up. Come on, guys, come on, guys. Eventually, I guess I kind of, you know, get loose and stand up. The other guy grabs him, and instead of putting me back in handcuffs again, they run out the door and slam the door shut. So now in my eyes, I'm thinking, damn, he's not even gonna call anybody and tell them, you know, he just abused me. He's thinking, oh, I just got away with it. But the lady in the booth obviously saw the whole thing transpire and made the call. I just put the code in, and everybody came to the pod. Then I'm in the door in probably 5 minutes. They come back out and get me. Put me immediately in handcuffs. And then to top it all off, they put me in handcuffs. Sarge comes and says something to me, goes back into the booth. Then he comes out of the booth and walks past me, looking at me like, you know, like, I guess as the inmate said, like, mean mugging me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm in handcuffs. So I'm thinking, why the hell, they just watched the video, why the hell would they let him come out of the booth and walk past me and I'm in restraints?
Are you in waist chains?
Yes. So now I'm no more scared again, like, is this guy finna jump on me again now that I'm in handcuffs? Why would they let him even get
So I'm sorry, you said SARS, or was it Officer Brown who mean mugging you coming out of the?
No, Officer Brown, the one who assaulted me.
Okay.
One officer, Sarge came and put me in, you know, when I walked out the dorm, Sarge approached me. She put me in handcuffs. She took me to the bench. I'm not waist chains, I'm in handcuffs to the back.
Okay.
Then they handcuffed me to the bench.
On the leg iron?
Yes,
Okay.
with the handcuffs to the back.
Okay.
Then she came back out. She kind of asked me something. I think I said something to the matter of, you know, just go watch the video. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Because in my mind, I'm saying, if I explain to the officer what happened without them watching the video, they're going to say I'm full of shit. I'm the inmate. If they go watch the video, and then I explain myself, it's all going to make sense. 9 times out of 10, how it went, I've never seen nothing like that, you know, like me personally. So I think with me trying to explain myself to them, telling them how it went and what happened without them watching the video first, they're gonna go, oh, he's lying. She went back, all of them went in the booth, I guess, to look at the camera. Somehow he came out the booth and walked past me again. I think Officer McPherson came and he was like, Cummings, what happened? And Officer Brown was right behind me, walking by, but I'm restrained in handcuffs. I'm like, why the hell would they let him walk past me? I'm restrained, you know? And he went and sat down at the computer typing in the office in the booth like nothing happened. And then they took me to right here to Mel.
Okay. So we're gonna kind of go piece by piece all the way down. So you're up at your bunk. You kept asking him like round after round, hey, books. Why did he place you in handcuffs at that point in time? Was it because you were asking about books, or was there anything else said?
I guess it was because when he came out, it was like, fuck the books. Now I'm like, fuck the books.
Okay.
Then he grabs my sweatshirt. He's like, do you want this sweatshirt? I'm like, fuck the sweatshirt.
Okay.
I'm just going to sleep. I've been waiting up all morning. I could have been asleep waiting on you to bring the books. And that's when he was like, well, as far as the sweatshirt, that's when he handcuffed me.
Were you laying on your bed at that point in time, or were you sitting up on the edge, kind of, feet
I
on the
was laying
floor,
like probably
laid
in my
out?
bed. I didn't even have a shirt on. I had a blanket probably up to my waist. Probably,
Okay.
like laying down, probably leaning up halfway or something like that.
Okay. So you're handcuffed. He's walking you towards the stairs. Listen, these are words, right? I want to know what was said. I don't care if it's foul language. I want to know what you said to him. I want to know what he said to you. What was the talk as you guys were heading towards the stairs to go down?
He just kept saying, first he said, you're gonna sit, now you're gonna fucking sit on the bench all night, that's on me. And I said, I don't give a fuck where you put me, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit at this point, just come on, let's go.
Okay.
And then that's when he said, that's when he went to saying, oh, I'll fight you, I ain't no hoe, or went to saying like some shit, a person.
So while you were at the bunk, the conversation went south. Like you guys started insults back and forth.
I wouldn't say insult, it was just more like, I was at the point where I was like, fuck it, fuck the sweatshirt, fuck the books, I'm through with it.
Fuck you and all that, right.
I've been up 4 hours waiting on you for these books, and now you're telling me, but then he came out and said, well, fuck it, I took the books. And then I think that's the point when I was like, well, fuck the books, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then he went to fucking with my sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'm not trying to justify anything we're just trying to understand how this goes from you laying in your bunk to him, why he's handcuffing you. And I know it's hard to remember back, but that's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah.
Because the conversation had to have gone south, whether it was over the books or the sweatshirt. Something I'm trying to figure out why he got you. He decided that you needed to be handcuffed and escorted outside, and that's why we're asking.
And let me reiterate what he just said. We are not trying to justify anything that took place. We've seen
the video. But the video has no sound. So
right.
That's where we're trying to get that from you and from anybody that saw anything.
And we see certain body movements happening on the video, and we can't hear. So you guys are all the way over the top of the stairs. He starts to walk you down. He's holding you by your arm, right?
And I'm not resisting or anything.
No, you're not. So was something said right there at the top of the stairs that made him...
You started to take 2 steps down and he pulls you back up. And then it does like a weird circle thing and then it's back down. Do you remember what happened up there at the top?
All I remember him saying was, I'll take these handcuffs off you. I'll take these handcuffs off you. I'll fight you. I ain't no hoe.
He was saying that already at the top of the stairs?
Yeah. I'll beat your ass. I ain't no hoe. I'll beat your ass. I ain't no hoe. This, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn.
Did he say anything about finding a place out of camera view while he was upstairs, or only downstairs by the door?
No, probably. I think he did say something. Oh, there's cameras right here. There's something about the cameras, and then by the time he gets all the way to the bottom of the steps, he said, "No, I'm gonna beat your ass right here where these cameras can't, where these cameras can't see me." Then once he gets me to the steps, that's when he said, "Yeah, these cameras. I'm gonna take the cuffs off right here where these cameras can't see me." You know what I'm saying? Then he proceeded to take the cuffs off. I'm thinking like, man, what the hell? This guy crazy?
Let me ask you this, and I don't know if you remember, when you were standing at the door and he's taking the handcuffs off of you, did you happen to see the tower tech by chance?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
Because it took him, as you can probably see on the video, it probably took him at least a minute, 2 minutes to get the handcuffs off of me.
Okay. So you turn around, right? Just turned around. What was said in that instance? Whether
I don't think there was nothing said. He just straight out just went to punch me.
Okay. No, and again, these are only words, right? So if you said "fuck you,"
I didn't say nothing at that point.
Okay.
All I did was turn around and see what was going on. I'm curious as to see why these handcuffs getting took off me. And he's talking about beating me up. He's 3 to 4 times bigger than me. He's got on big boots. I got on shower shoes with no grip. I turn around, and there it goes. I'm punched, and I fall to the ground, and I'm getting beat up, knee in the head, all type of shit. At this point, I don't know what's going on. That's why I turn around to see, you know, why is he taking the handcuffs out? He's already threatening.
Did he tell you to turn around?
No, I don't think. I don't know what he told me to do. I just know as a reaction, I turned around. But I turned around with my hands by my waist.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
any offensive movement. No, I'm talking about not even. It's plain and day obvious that I didn't swing on him. I'm saying.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out if you
No
turned around 'cause he
offensive
told you,
movement.
or you know, or
My
you.
hands never left above my waist.
At any point in time, were you telling him to stop?
Yes.
Okay. How many times do you think you asked him?
Probably
Told
4
him
or
to
5
stop.
times. And Officer King probably told him to stop 5 or 6 times. But he never was like, you stop. It was always, you guys stop. And
Okay.
I'm thinking, man, you guys, I haven't even done anything. And then afterwards, by the time I get up, everybody in the dorm telling me to punch him. Like, we're standing right there face to face. But I know in my head, I'm not going to punch you because this is only going to make my situation worse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In my mind, I'm already a victim. There's no reason to turn this to any other way for me. So I just leave it alone.
Okay. When you went to the hospital, did they diagnose you with anything? Did you have any broken ribs or? I see you got like a cut on your forehead a little bit.
Just cuts and bruising, abrasions. They said it's more like a lot of soreness, you know, like real sore. Like when you get in a car accident and you got real back pain,
Right.
They can't always saw it on the CAT scan, but I mean, they can't. I guess there's nothing that they can do about it.
Can you take one hand, just pull your hair back and hold it back? Thanks, man.
And they said I have like scratches on my back right here. My lower back.
You want to stand up and let's just turn around and let's take a look.
I don't know. That's
Just raise your shirt up a little bit. Yeah, you got a few scratches. Some right here, right there.
And they
Yeah.
gave me a tetanus shot because of being scratched.
Okay. Is there anything else that you can think of that you want us to know or that we haven't gone over?
You never had a problem with him?
I've never had a problem with any officer, sir. I've been in the dorm going on 6 months. I haven't had one write-up. Not one. In 6 months. Not one write-up.
So yeah, you've been here since August. August 24th. Okay.
Matthew, can you think of anybody in that pod that had a good view of everything that transpired from start to finish? There's a white bald guy that comes near the end at the bottom. He's tattooed on his calves and on
Tattoo on his
his neck.
neck on the left side.
Heavy said he was wearing like white boxers and stuff. You know his name?
I kind of know him, but a lot of those people in the dorm I kind of knew. A lot of the people that were in the dorm with me originally, we was in L6 originally. They moved us around and put us all in L3. A lot of people that went home or went to prison.
So you're not clear on
I
their
kind of
names?
stick to myself, sort of. I don't know. On the video, you could probably see some people. That
There's some
probably
people
saw
just figure if you knew their names, it makes it easier. But we'll find out.
Yeah, we can definitely figure out the bald white guy, but there is a black male that comes up and is
But pretty close to y'all. Where you,
right there as you guys were tussling on the floor, and King was trying to.
separated or
Yeah. But we need to go talk to some other folks. Do you have any questions for us? No? So I'm going to give you my card. That's me. Okay? I will be the lead on this. This is not by any means getting swept under the rug.
I want to, this is the point that I don't understand. If it would have been me and another inmate fighting. They press charges here in this jail. If I get into an altercation with another inmate and I'm injured and have to go to the hospital, I'm going to first appearance. There's no doubt about it. So I don't understand why he didn't go to first appearance. Why is there charges not filed on him? Before they do any criminal investigation, there's going to be charges placed on him.
No, that's not how it works.
Well, I mean,
So-
but maybe they do the criminal investigation, but it's people going to first appearance,
They're-
inmate on inmate.
They do their investigation, right? And that's all right. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we've watched the video several times, okay? We've talked to medical, we've talked to you, we've got to go talk to some other witnesses, right? The bald white guy, the black male that were there. And we will continue down this path, okay? So it is something that we are taking very seriously, all right? This is, uncalled for, okay? With that being said, have you already reached out to your family?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it is active, okay? We just got notified at 5 o'clock
Yeah. That's
that this occurred, okay?
And it's only
7:30.
2.5 hours since we were
And then
at
like,
home.
excuse me, I understand.
No,
It's,
you're
it's
fine.
Saturday. Y'all probably don't want to be bothered with this shit, but
No, this is what we get paid.
we
and then it's like now I have to be right out of my comfort zone as being in jail in the dorm that I've been in 6 months. I built a repertoire with some people, and now I got to be moved out and took here, start over, put in this place and this place.
That's the life when you're in custody and stuff. When you're in the free world, you got your free decisions to make. But when you're in here, you're affected by things like this.
the other thing is that
Like I'm being punished.
you may end up going back there, right? You didn't have a beef with anybody in there, right? You had a beef with the folks and they can move those folks to wherever.
I had to beef with, to be on camera, I had to beef with nobody.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You didn't have a beef with anybody, so you very well could go back into it was L3,
L3.
and go back to that jail normalcy. I'll even make a recommendation that you don't get moved. You shouldn't be punished for being a victim.
For what it's worth, we'll both put that recommendation. I don't think you should be removed from there either.
Thank you.
Okay.
So it is Saturday evening, right? We've got some work ahead of us to do, but believe me, it's working. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Don't say.
All right, so we'll go ahead and end the interview. It's 19:30 hours. So today is Saturday, February 4th, 21:18 hours. I'm Investigator Kramer. That is Investigator Munoz. And can we get your name?
Yes, Deputy David R. King.
Okay. We are currently where in the jail? What dorm is
Oh, I'm
this?
sorry, that's 5 North.
Okay. So you understand we're with criminal investigations.
Right, I
Okay.
understand what's going on.
So before we go any further, I'm going to read you your rights.
Sure, please.
Okay. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used in court as evidence against you. You're entitled to have a lawyer now and have him present now or at any time during questioning.
Okay.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cost, and he may be present at all times during your questioning. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and stop answering any questions or making statements.
Okay.
Do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you want to speak with us?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm 100% okay with that.
Okay. So, we are here in reference to last night.
Yeah, the L5 incident?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Southern PBA, and I called them and left them a message because I was like, I'm not trying to take any kind of flack for this.
All right. Say that again. You called who?
Southern, was it Police Benevolence? It's the think they represent you, the lawyer and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm okay with talking to you guys. It's fine because I don't mind. I'm not gonna incriminate
Okay.
myself or anything because I didn't do
Okay.
anything incriminating.
So tell us what happened.
Sure. So we were. I was working with Deputy Brown. We were all night on the floor. We've been working a couple days down there together. So we started enforcing some of the policies, which was like sheets hanging on the end of the beds, covering up all the sides and stuff like that, strings tied to the bed. So we were going throughout the night and taking that stuff down, which is just part of the policy and is something we should be doing every day. But that night we're getting all the stuff we could. So every round we go in, we take any sheets that were hanging, anything that was blocking any views or anything like that. So a couple people were stirred up, what have you. And one of the rounds we went in, I think it was the 4 o'clock round, we went in and we went specifically into L Pod 3, doing the same thing. We were doing our security round, bottom top. So Brown went up to the top right, where the bunks are, and there was a gentleman he was having words with back and forth, and I wasn't really paying attention at the time, but they were, kind of talking to each other. And this guy, inmate Cubbage, that was the person, had a sweatshirt tied around his bunk, and Deputy Brown took it off. And I remember him saying, "You want this?" And the guy, verbatim was, "I don't give a fuck what you do with it. Actually, go give it to your fucking boy, something or another." And he just had a baby boy, so I'm assuming that this guy knew about that. Deputy Brown had a baby boy recently.
Okay.
And so I think it just got under his skin immediately. Deputy Brown, I think, took offense to it, but also the guy was using threatening tones and saying stuff, so he just, we're doing policy. "All right, get up, put you in handcuffs, we're going to take you outside, since you're breaking policy and doing threatening and all that stuff." So that was all okay. Put him in handcuffs. The guy didn't resist or anything, stood up, put his hand behind his back. I had a stack of sheets and stuff that we had taken down, and I was falling behind him. So Brown had inmate Cubbage, was walking with him, escorting him, and the whole time inmate Cubbage was making comments, "I'll take these cuffs off, I'll beat your ass," this and that. And they got to the top of the steps, and I remember he said something as they were going down the steps. Inmate Cubbage said, "Oh, take off my cuffs and let's go in the shower, and I'll F you up," and all that stuff. And I remember Brown kind of pulling it back, saying "What'd you say?" or something like that, and then just continued, which I was like, "All right, that's not necessary." And then we went down the stairs. He was still escorting him. I wasn't saying anything at this time. I was just behind them listening to the conversation. And just back and forth. Got to the door of the sally port area where we leave the dorm, and Deputy Brown stopped and started adjusting the handcuff. I didn't know what he was doing. I just assumed that he was maybe tightening the cuff. I didn't honestly know. Then I would say 10, 15 seconds, all of a sudden I look and I see that he's got the handcuffs off of the inmate completely, both wrists free. The inmate turns around, faces him, and they were still exchanging words, and then he shoves him in the door and starts punching him. And it's...
Who shoved?
So Deputy Brown took the handcuffs off. Originally, inmate Cubbage was facing the door, and he took both the cuffs off. By the time I realized that was happening, it was very quick. Inmate Cubbage turned around, they were face to face. Deputy Brown shoved him, punched him, and then began just punching him and fighting him, like a straight bar brawl kind of style. I immediately, instantaneously started saying, "Brown, stop, Brown, stop." Started grabbing Brown, not inmate Cubbage, because inmate Cubbage wasn't at fault for anything in this situation, and was just trying to grab Brown. I still had the stuff in my hand for a second. Eventually I dropped the stuff, called for additional deputies, kept trying to grab Brown I wasn't going to do like a bear hug on him, because I could tell that he was completely emotion driven, and I was a little afraid he would think I was an inmate or somebody and that I was going to get elbowed in the face by him. But I was still putting hands on Brown. "Hey, stop, 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 cool off, stop, you need to stop, you need to stop." The person in the tower, the CJS, was listening to the intercom and heard me saying this over and over and over, just repeating, "Stop, you gotta stop, stop." Eventually he did stop. The guy was on the ground. And then at that point I went behind Brown. I was like, "You need to go outside, you need to cool off, you need to get out of this dorm right now." And he started to go, and then he stopped. I was picking up. He dropped his handcuff keys and stuff, so I wanted to make sure I didn't leave that in the dorm, obviously. So I picked that up. I think my glasses had fallen off. I grabbed those, and then I grabbed Brown. I said, go outside, and pushed him out of the solid port door. I left inmate coverage in the dorm, which was realistically probably a mistake. As far as policy goes, you definitely would take him out. But at that time, there was about 3 or 4 inmates who had now gathered around, and I was in that mind state of Deputy Brown is about to get, this is going to be a kind of a riot situation. So I immediately got Brown out of the dorm because I knew I'd called additional deputies, and go in and get inmate coverage to pull him out at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty unnerving. I wasn't really expecting all that to happen. I mean, inmates will say stuff all the time, and it kind of is part of the job. You get insulted and stuff like that. I think it got under his skin, and I think he went off. To be perfectly frank with you.
And what do you mean he went off?
Like, I think his emotion drove that whole process of taking the handcuffs off and everything. I wish I would have known that's what he was doing, because I truly didn't realize he was taking off the handcuffs off his wrist. Otherwise, I would have just said, go outside and stop what you're doing kind of situation. But by the time I realized he had taken them off, that is when coverage spun around, and that's exactly when the fight started out.
When he first put them on him, when they were up at the top right cut,
Yes.
were you there?
Yes. Well, so I was picking up sheets off the ground and stuff, but yeah, I was standing behind Deputy Brown, and inmate coverage. He said, stand up, put your hands behind your back. Inmate coverage complied, did exactly what he said, stood up, put his hand behind his back. There was no struggle, no fighting at that point, and put handcuffs on him.
Do you know if he double locked them when you put them on him?
I don't know that information. I don't think he did.
As he was escorting him down between the bunk and the stairs.
Yeah.
Do you recall what was being said, if anything, between them?
It was a lot of inmate coverage stating, take these cuffs off, and we'll fight it out right now.
No complaints about the cuffs being too tight?
No, I don't recall anything like that nature. No, not at all. I would say confidently, no, he didn't.
When he gets to the stairs and lets Kubich take about 2-3 steps on the stairs and then pulls him back up.
Yeah.
Do you recall what was said there?
That was when inmate coverage stated, let's go in the shower and take these cuffs off, and we'll fight right now, or I'll beat your ass, or whatever the context was.
Do you recall Deputy Brown saying anything about the cameras, being in view of the cameras?
No, when that comment was said, when he pulled him back up, I think he literally looked him in the face and said, what did you say? And then I think there was kind of that heat of the moment still in his mind of like wanting to fight. That's what I believe. I think it was.
So he pulled him back up the stairs.
Yeah, he took like one step down, and then he, with the handcuffs, pulled him back up.
To go to the shower?
No, I wouldn't say yes or no to that comment, because I genuinely don't know what his intentions were. He pulled him back up, looked in his face. I didn't see, there wasn't any kind of turn around, let's go to the shower situation. It was a pull up. He said something to him, which I believe was, what the F did you say, or something like that, and then he went back down the stairs.
He spins him around, and almost as if he was going to walk him towards the left cut. He spins him around, and then they go back down the stairs.
Oh, okay.
So you don't recall the exchange?
In the moment, not really, to be perfectly frank with you, because I was just walking behind them with the stuff in my hands, and one of those.
At any point did you hear anybody say words to the effect of, well, let's get out of camera range?
No, I don't recall that being said. No, I don't believe anyone said that.
Whether Brown said that or whether Cubbage said that?
Oh, yeah, Cobbage definitely said that, for sure, when he was talking about the shower, because that was the point of him mentioning the shower, for sure. Was let's go in there, because they knew that's where, I guess, their inmate coverage knew that's where they could fight. It's pretty common whenever that situation occurs, whenever there's an inmate hostility situation, to comment something of let's go where, let's go behind the pole, let's go over there. And they'll say that to deputies, take your camera off and we'll do it right now kind of thing. It's just you're not supposed to respond with any sort of reaction to that.
When they got to the door, and he had him facing the door,
Yeah.
and you thought he was adjusting his handcuffs,
Yeah.
and he took them off.
Yeah.
Did he hand them to you?
Yes.
He handed you his
Yeah,
his
with
hand-
like instantaneously, I was like, it was kind of like a what are you doing kind of situation. He went like that, and I had literally no idea what was going on, and then he immediately punch,
Do you
fight.
recall if he told inmate Kubich to turn around?
I don't think he told him to turn around. I think he just turned around. They were having words the whole time.
What were
they
the
were
words? What were the words?
They
at
were
the
both
door?
kind of like, oh god. I remember Deputy Brown kept saying, "Stop moving your effing hands. Stop moving your effing hands." Whenever he was, I guess, taking off the handcuffs. As far as specifics, I don't truly know. I do know that the tower person was listening to the whole conversation right there and was able to hear that, but I truly don't. In the moment, it all just was kind of so fast that, like,
Why do you think he took the cuffs off?
I think he wanted to fight him.
So you think that Deputy Brown wanted to fight Cubbage?
Yes, that's what I believe, yeah.
Why?
I think it was emotionally driven. I think he was...
Because what he said about his son?
Yep, I literally think that's where it started, because because before that comment, he was taking the sweatshirt off and was pretty, it seemed calm-tempered, and then that comment happened, and then he said something like, "What did you say, what did you say?" And he said, "Okay, go ahead and stand up, put your hands behind your back." And that was when that all started, but I definitely saw a switch of, like, emotion at that point, for sure.
When he made the comment, you said it was something along the lines, correct me if I'm wrong, like give the sweatshirt to your son?
Yeah.
Was it like to give the sweatshirt to your pussy son or anything like that? Did he inflame it
I don't know specifically the words he used. He said something along the lines of "give this to your son," and then something, I don't know, it was something like I'll fucking see him or something, like, I don't know what it was. It was some kind of comment towards, like, it was an effect of trying to talk negatively about the son, for sure. I don't really remember the terminology or what he specifically said, because I truly wasn't listening to that full extent. But I just remember hearing the son comment. I knew that Deputy Brown had just had a baby boy, and I knew, like, I looked at him, and Deputy Brown definitely looked a little more angry at that point.
When you got him out of the pod, were there other deputies already responding? Was there a time there where it was just you and him till they got there?
It was like maybe 15 seconds that it was just, we were walking out towards the Sally Port, and at that point, I think Sergeant Bergman and I can't remember the other deputy that was with Sergeant Bergman. Someone else was with Sergeant Bergman. It might have been Sergeant Bergman and Sergeant Benito who were walking in at the time. And then Sergeant Bergman asked me what happened, and I said, "I'll let Deputy Brown explain that," because in that situation, it was uncomfortable,
Did Brown say anything to you after you guys exited the cell door?
There was not any words except for maybe I said, like, "What the hell," or something like that, and then I know later in the night he apologized after seeing the footage and saying, "I didn't mean to put you in that situation," kind of statement. But as we first walked out, there wasn't much of word exchange. It was very. He definitely wasn't saying anything, and if anything, I was saying, like, what was that kind of situation?
So you said has seen the video footage.
I believe so. I think one of the watch command showed him it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure.
And then
That's what I believe so. Yeah. I believe
Okay.
so.
And then he came to you and said, "Sorry for putting you in that situation."
When I went back to the office, because I was doing after that point in time, it was obviously not a good idea for him to go back in the pod, so I did all the head counts and rounds on my own at that point, because I knew if he went back into specifically that pod, that would be an issue. So when I went back to the office at some point later, maybe an hour later or so, because they were talking to him in the office by themselves, so I stayed in the tower with the tower tech for a while, writing my statement out. But when I went back in, that's when he made the comment. It was after Lieutenant and everybody had left.
Do you know if anybody called CSI?
I don't recall. I wouldn't know that because I wasn't in the room with them whenever they were talking to him. I know that Sergeant Bergman, Sergeant Benito, Sergeant Cadena were there in the tower, and then I know later on Lieutenant Yesherin came down. But at the time, honestly, I don't know if they called CSI.
Did you see Deputy Brown today before the meeting or during the meeting?
I saw him. Are you talking in the morning meeting? Mm-hmm. I saw him across the room, but I didn't have any conversation with him.
And after you left for home, between going home and coming back today, did he reach out to you in any way?
No, we talked on the way out the door, but it wasn't. But just like that was a crazy day. No, we really didn't discuss it much after the fact. I mean, we talked about it in the office later after I had already written my statement, but no, like on the way out, we're just kind of just casual talking. I'll see you tomorrow kind of situation.
And other than him apologizing to you between you and that situation? Did he say anything about what caused him to?
He said he just lost his temper. He said he had tunnel vision. He said he didn't even realize that I was actually trying to break him away from the inmate. And I even told him, I said, I didn't want to grab you or anything like that because I was a little worried that you might strike me or something like that. And he's like, yeah, honestly, I had no idea, and I probably would have responded that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the most I could to my extent without putting myself physically in harm, because I knew if I would have gotten wrapped around Deputy Brown to pull him off inmate coverage, that I would have probably proceeded to have been striked. And I didn't feel like getting punched in the head because he's a big guy.
So, what you witnessed, would you consider that aggressive?
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was very inappropriate.
And if somebody did that to you, would you want something to happen to that person?
Yeah, 100%, for sure. Yeah, I just felt like it was kind of that situation where I've not been put in an awkward situation like that since I've started working here, and I've been here for like 1 year and 4 months, and it was just one of those really kind of uncomfortable situations where I felt like now I'm somehow tied into this, even though like I just genuinely had no idea what the heck was going on to that extent. I mean, I see inmates all the time egg on. I've had inmates say some nasty things, but it's just kind of one of those, you just roll it off, make a joke, walk off, whatever. But like that was one of those where I really was kind of shocked that he took the handcuffs off and proceeded to fight him like that. It was definitely not appropriate. Because he was in handcuffs, he could have just pulled him out to the sally port. We could have put him on the bench, and he could have done a charge. And I mean, honestly, he could have done whatever he wanted to do. I didn't know, I really didn't know the purpose, but at that time, he was making threatening comments upstairs, so that's fine. Put him in handcuffs and bring him down if you want to.
But really threatening. Tell me what's threatening about.
Yeah, right.
Give that shit to your son.
Right,
or
right.
even.
Yeah.
How long you worked with Deputy Brown?
I've worked on the floor with Deputy Brown maybe 3 days in L-Pod. That was it. I have not worked with him prior to this point.
Have you heard anything about him? I mean, like, what kind of work demeanor does he have?
I've heard he's a little slack. I've heard he's not the most I don't know what the word is.
Go-getter, like.
Yeah, not the most like, yeah, exactly.
When it comes to
Go-getter.
enforcing the rules?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, prior to that point, like through the night, I felt like he was doing an appropriate job of, he got safety scissors, and we were cutting off the strings tied to beds and, following policy, taking towels off rails and stuff. So it felt like, up to that point, he seemed to be doing appropriate work, what I would assume what you should be doing. But then that moment in time was definitely a different view of him, for sure.
When you were at the door and he was fumbling with the cuffs, did he say, I'm readjusting the cuffs, or?
No, he didn't make any comment about what he was doing with the cuffs. He said, I just think he kept saying, stop wiggling your hands, stop moving your fucking hands.
And why do you think he was saying that? What is your?
No.
Because you were standing off to the side,
Right,
kinda.
right.
Why do you think he would say stop wiggling your hands? Do you have any
I think
idea?
he was just trying to put the keys in, and I think the guy's hands were in the way, but I just genuinely didn't understand why he was taking off the handcuff. I didn't know what he was doing. I just assumed that he was maybe tightening the cuff. I didn't honestly know. I didn't know what he was doing. I just assumed that he was maybe tightening the cuff. I didn't honestly know. I didn't know literally what the point of that was. I didn't understand what was going on. I stopped, but I'm also not going to. And at that point, nothing outrageous had happened to me.
Right.
So I wasn't going to stop him and be like, hey, you don't need to adjust his handcuffs or anything, because he's another deputy of, equal level as me. So, like, if he wants to adjust the handcuffs or whatever, that's on him. But, like, I didn't understand at all what was going on. At that point, the fact that he stopped at the door was confusing in itself.
But so kind of going back upstairs, right? So
Yes.
there's verbal altercation between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, stand up, cuff them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get over to the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of even, let me just back up a little bit. So,
Sure.
so you said kind of some threatening, right? But it really wasn't threatening. It was
Right, take
maybe-
off the handcuffs and we'll fight, yeah.
But no, upstairs when he said, "Give that shit to your son" or whatever, and
Oh,
he decided
right, before the handcuffs.
right, and he
Okay.
decided to secure him in handcuffs.
Yes,
That really wasn't threatening.
right,
So,
yeah,
what was the reason?
for putting him in handcuffs.
Yeah,
I
just because he cussed at him, you think?
yeah, honestly, I don't know, cause like, to tell you the truth, it was kind of spur of the moment. I know that the guy was, they were commenting back and forth to each other. I just really wasn't listening until that one comment. Outside of that, like, I was picking up the strings off the floor in, like, the streets. And then at that point, once he's like, stand up, put your hands behind your back, I just got behind him to make sure nothing, got crazy, that there wasn't a fight or anything like that nature.
And then you're walking towards the stairs. What's the verbal between those two at this point in time?
As they're walking,
Towards the stairs, in front of the showers.
same stuff the whole way. It was almost like a repeat. They were just saying the same things over and over. Like, I'll fuck you up, both. Or not. I wouldn't say both. I think at first it was inmate coverage, and then it was kind of like, okay, all right, yeah, you're gonna do something. Like Deputy Brown wasn't necessarily putting it down; he was kind of egging it on a little bit.
And then that's when Deputy Brown. Well, that's when Cubbage says something to the effect of, "Let's take it to the showers."
Right, as he was taking like the first or second step down the stairs,
And then Brown,
and then Brown pulls
pulls
him
him
back.
back.
Up. Yeah, right.
and
And I guess spins him around, or whatever spins him around. I like I said, in that moment, I wasn't really paying attention to how he spun him around. I just remember him doing that, being a little like, all right, it's awkward, keep walking. And then there was like this weird, crazy flash of like, I hope he doesn't trip down the stairs or anything like that at this point.
what made you think of that?
Because when we went back down the stairs, he did kind of that move with him, and I was a little concerned, like, that he's got the inmate in front of both of us, and that it's kind of, going down the stairs like that.
Was he kind of pushing him?
Yeah, I wouldn't say pushing, but definitely
but-
forcefully moving him down the
Down the
stairs.
stairs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And-
it wasn't a kind let's go
And
situation.
you thought,
It wasn't a gentle.
what happens if he pushes him?
Right.
Right, I got
There
you.
was definitely that.
And
hypothetical
were they still
crazy
going
thought.
back and forth, bickering back and forth between each other?
Yeah.
Did Cubbage ever threaten him, truly threaten him, like, "I'm gonna kill you," or
No. It was take these cuffs off and we'll fight. Well, I'll fuck you up. That was like the extent of the entire conversation. From pretty much after he got in handcuffs, that was the conversation going down the stairs all the way to the door. It was the same kind of thing, back and forth. Oh yeah, you're gonna do that? Yeah, I'll take these cuffs off and we'll fight. Upstairs was the comment about the son, but like outside of that, no, there was never like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna hurt your family or anything like that. There was no.
Tiffany, do you recall if Kubich had both his slippers on at the top of the stairs?
He did have both of his slippers on. Yeah, he didn't have a sweatshirt on. He had pants on, and he had both of his slippers on. I only remember that because when he got up, he put the slippers on and was gonna get a sweatshirt, and Deputy Brown was like, "No, you don't need a sweatshirt." And then we started walking towards the stairs. But I do recall him putting on slippers, at least at the bed.
and getting back to, you never heard, or did you hear Brown say words to the effect of, let's get out of the range of the camera"?
I don't recall that being said. No, it could have been said. I don't remember that being said. But that's that's just me. Like, to be honest with you.
And I see you're not wearing a body cam.
Right, I've asked for one for 10 months.
And you don't have one.
Nope. And I'm already done the ACQUN online class and everything. They're doing it next week, but I have pre-mandate firing range on Monday whenever they're doing the body cam class, so I can't even attend.
And did he have a body cam on?
He did not.
No.
No. None of the people, I started in November 2021. I would say 6 months after that point, nobody who started has really gotten a body camera or a taser, or everybody, people I think have, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I've asked for multiple times because of the same kind of scenario where I would like to have the reassurance that I have footage of everything that happens. But I was originally refused, and then they were like, "Oh, we'll just get you in mandate," and then And maybe a month after, they were like, okay, now we want everyone to have them.
So did you ever think that Deputy Brown was in jeopardy?
No.
And do you think Deputy Brown,
I mean, if anything, it would have been after the fight as we were leaving, because there was like 3 or 4 inmates around. And honestly, there was one big white dude, Tommy Smith, who was standing right there, who's a bigger guy, and was saying like, oh, you fucked up or something like that. And I definitely felt that tension of the inmates, definitely kind of that heat of like there might be. I just honestly, in that situation, I was worried that we were both inside of a dorm where he just did that, and now we're both at risk because of that.
and do you see any reason why Deputy Brown struck inmate Covage multiple times?
Do I see a reason?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
Do you think anything that occurred was justified?
No, not at all. I think it was unreasonable on all levels, 100%. And that's because he was already in handcuffs. Especially with the recent stuff going on in the news, like that's exactly the same route. Like I don't understand what the point of that was. I think it was anger. I think he wanted to fight him. I just think it was that simple. I think he wanted to take off the cuffs and get in a straight bar brawl with him.
So he pretty much allowed what the verbal altercation was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your ass, you're gonna kick my ass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, take the cuffs off, okay, whatever, you're gonna beat your ass, I'm gonna beat your ass. He actually took it to that point when
Right.
they got to that door.
Right.
He had enough and he said, fuck it, let's
Right.
Let's
and if
do
I had
this.
any idea that that's what he was planning on when he was messing with the handcuffs, I would have pushed them both out of the solid force, because that's.
Do you think he fueled it between handcuffing them at the bunk and that door? Brown fueled what was going on between them, or?
Yeah,
As
I think it was
opposed to
kind of
de-
I think it was
no de-escalation,
no, it was definitely not de-escalation.
the opposite of de-escalation.
I would say the opposite of de-escalation. Yeah, I would definitely say that there was encouragement the whole time. I'm someone who's very big on de-escalating. That's my strong suit. I have very little use of forces because I did sales for 7 years, so I always just use words to calm situations down every time, no matter how hot it is. And that situation was one of those situations where it's awkward because I probably should have just stepped in and interrupted them both and stopped them from talking to each other, but like he's a deputy, so I feel like, you're the same person as me, you need to, handle
And,
it
and I
appropriately.
get what you're saying, and yes, absolutely, you guys are the same rank, and when they're going back and forth, right?
Mhm.
But the minute he punched that guy,
Yeah,
and he continued to punch him,
yeah,
you should have punched him. You should have done what you could
Yeah.
to get him off of him, because he pummeled him.
and I did, and I was grabbing him and
So you were trying.
Right,
I am
100%.
saying you should have gotten more. In my opinion, you should have gotten more aggressive
yeah,
to take Brown out of that situation.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
He
and just did that, I understand that.
Did-
I did what I felt I could at the time, I just didn't want to get punched in the face by Brown.
and I get
And I
that.
understand, yeah, and I
Right,
understand what you're saying because he
but
was,
Brown has gone off the rails,
Right.
and he punched this inmate.
Mhm.
An inmate didn't make any moves on him.
right,
Didn't flinch. Didn't
right,
raise an arm or
Right,
fist.
right.
No clenched
right,
fist.
100%.
And
No, yeah, no.
and then he starts pummeling
Right,
him.
I understand completely. It
So
was not appropriate.
at that point, you need to step in
Yeah,
and take him out of that situation.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm not trying to harp on you.
Yeah, he's not trying to make you feel bad for what you. It's a hell of a thing for a veteran to be put in that situation.
Yeah,
What investigator Kramer is telling you, this is the beginning of your law enforcement career.
Mhm.
I hope you never find yourself in that situation
right,
again.
right.
So
Absolutely.
hindsight is 20/20.
Right,
Okay.
100%.
And knowing that you don't have a taser, but I see you got a pepper spray.
Pepper spray, yeah.
You would have been justified in emptying that can on Deputy Brown.
Okay.
When he didn't listen to your second command, just so you know.
Okay, for future
reference.
reference, I'll 100%
You
use
know,
it. I don't have an
uh,
issue with that. It wasn't something so new to me.
We're responsible
Right.
for every inmate that's in this facility, for
Right.
their safety.
Right.
Regardless of what they're calling us,
Right.
you know, the old saying, sticks and stones break names will never hurt me, they can, but you have to be able to switch that off.
Right.
And if you can't, then you don't belong in this career.
Right.
And if you ever find yourself in a situation like that, where the person your coworker, you detect, your senses tell you, he's just gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Now, he's put you in a situation where you have to do everything in your power to stop him.
Yeah.
Because he's committing a crime.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
And like I said, I don't wanna beat you up about that.
Right.
I think you, for the lack of experience that you had, you did the best you could. You at least tried.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And next time, you're gonna be better prepared. If this ever happens again.
Right, I'll just
I would
understand.
probably want you to be the other deputy in the room, because I think you're gonna know how to handle that.
Right, 100%. Yeah, I definitely was not something that I
Right.
Yeah,
We don't see that on a everyday basis, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, we see a lot here in the jail.
Yeah.
Do you want me to end it? Recording?
What are you going to interrupt it?
Yes.
No. So yeah, you know, that was just like he said. I'm not trying to.
No, I
get
understand
on-
what you're saying, 100%. Yeah, I understand completely because of that situation. Now, in hindsight, 100%, he should have had more force used against him to stop that because what he was doing was not at all just in any way, shape, or form. I understand that completely because especially because the inmate that he was hitting was not even hitting him back.
Right.
Even if you didn't hit him directly with that thing, you start putting that thing in the air in the general vicinity that it wasn't
Yeah.
as hard as he was wailing.
Yeah.
He would have caught a whiff and would have stopped him.
Yeah.
Stopped him like he
Yeah,
did.
next time I'll just end it again. That's 100% fine.
Do you have any questions for us?
No.
No.
I don't. I mean,
Okay.
it was, yeah, like, I know exactly what the situation was. I knew what it was last night when it happened, and I knew it, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll go ahead and end the interview. It is 21:51 hours. Still trying to figure out why you cuffed him.
Why I cuffed?
Why you
Whatever
cuffed him?
though, whatever though. The reason I cuffed him is because this guy talking or whatever though.
That's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie.
What I did wasn't wrong.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're telling us partial truths.
Or whatever though.
You just punched him 15 times.
I'm not sitting here giving y'all the runaround. I'm not.
Sure you are. I'm not sitting here giving y'all the runaround.
Sure you are. Whatever though. What I did wasn't wrong.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
What I did wasn't wrong.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
It's some of the most egregious use of force, excessive use of force that I've ever seen in all of my career. Punched him so hard that he hit the back of the door and fell.
He's still talking or whatever though. I want to say compassion.
He's still talking or whatever though.
And you wailed him. And you wailed him. And you wailed him.
As a picture with or whatever though. I want to say compassion.